Hello and welcome back to
Father and Son Tractors present Fun with Tractors.
That worked quite well. I was laughing already because I didn't think it was going to go well.
We didn't even rehearse that.
There's zero rehearsal. I'm Tobias, this is my co-host Heather. And today we're going to be looking at the John Deere 6120M. This is Teddy,
Teddy.
Supervisor. The John Deere 6120M. John Deere in general, but we are a fan of this tractor because of how compact it is. But before we get on to this, I think you've got a couple of fun facts for us, haven't you?
Well, did you know who John Deere was?
Hi. I have no idea.
Well, actually, he was a blacksmith who developed, I do know this off by heart, he was a blacksmith who developed the first commercially successful self-scouring steel plough in 1837.
Bloody hell. I don't know what self-scouring is.
No.
Someone comment what is self-scouring.
And he actually founded the company that bears his name. But something I found quite interesting was that he was born in 1804 in Rutland, Vermont. And after his father was lost at sea when he was just 4 years old, he was raised solely by his mother. So that's quite a sad
Lost at sea. It's like a
backstory.
Disney.
It really is. I've just watched Frozen.
Tarzan and Frozen, both lost at sea.
And then from that came, well, his legacy.
John Deere tractors.
Yeah.
So he must have started with ploughs then, I assume.
I don't have that information to hand.
I
suppose so, yeah.
Someone comment below. We should have done our research. Gosh, lost at sea. What a way to go.
I know.
Right, well, this is a modern tractor, so we're skipping ahead a couple of hundred years. The 6120M, I have the brochure at hand.
Where did we get this from?
That was from the Hunt Forest Group up in Greenore, Somerset. Lovely bunch of guys. They donated the little model for us. They also let me have a look round a 6120M and a little play with it. So I'll play that clip now. So I'm up here at the John Deere dealership in Greenore, Somerset with the Hunt Forest Group. The chaps have very kindly let me have a little look around the 6120M. The 120 is the amount of horsepower it develops, just at max revs as it is now. But under load, it can develop up to 145 brake horsepower. The M series has a short wheelbase, or short frame, as the rep called it, which means it's slightly more compact compared to the R series and the larger models, particularly compared to the Combine over there. But that's good because it means around a yard, it's got a greater turning circle, so it's far easier to manoeuvre. Not that any of the others aren't easy to manoeuvre. The M series will do most things. Let's climb up in the cab here. And we've got the R series next to us that will do everything. But again, that's a longer wheelbase. So, you know, really it depends what sector of the agricultural industry you're using this for or how large a scale your operation is. But the key feature here is the sloped bonnet. They've dubbed it a snoop nose. The idea of this long-awaited, from what I gather, sloped bonnet is that when you have a loader on the front, or any implement, you have a far greater visibility, which is just a huge bonus. Ridiculously comfy cab. It's like heaven in here. The air-sprung seat is smashing. We've got all the usual dials that for ease of use and for the user's comfort as well. It's a fantastic machine. Hunt Forest Group are running a Christmas open event on the 22nd and 23rd of November where they've got 10% off the entire range of John Deere merchandise, and there'll be nibbles, hot chockies, cups of tea, mince pies, things like that. So that's the Greenore Hunt Forest dealership in Somerset. They're a lovely bunch, so come on up, have a mince pie, and make the most of that discount. I'll tell you what, I've never been in such a comfy seat, and I sat on it. I'm not particularly heavy, although you might say different. It went down about a foot. I was just like, and it was like I was in a spaceship. Like how everything was laid out, and you're back. You've got two armrests and a little passenger seat, and you got the gear stick there, and the steering wheel adjusts, and you're just,
It's crazy when you think of the last episode, which was the Ferguson.
I know.
And a vintage tractor, like how far things have come.
Yeah.
And the comfort and all the digital dials and everything.
And this has 100 horsepower more than the Fergie, but it is also 5.5 ton. But manual. It is a short frame tractor, which basically it's like a wheelbase on a van kind of thing. It's not only short this way, but it's slightly more compact, but that makes it really, really manoeuvrable around a yard, particularly with a loader on. The dog has reversed into the camera mount. He's gonna
Come on.
I can see that toppling backwards.
Come on, people want to see you anyway.
Yeah, they want to see the ceiling.
Want to see you.
Which gives it a turning circle, a radius of 4.35 meters, which is really tight. That's really, really tight. Yeah. You think that's just the width of this room? You can turn it around this room. Yeah. Whereas the larger ones, although they, can do slightly more. This can do most things, but the R series John Deere's can do everything. But they're huge and they're a couple of tons heavier and whatnot. The main feature of this, I think I touched on it in the little clip I just showed, is this sloping bonnet though.
Yeah, to give you the visibility.
Exactly that. So when you're hooking stuff onto the front, you could, because with these, there's 3-point linkage on the front.
Yeah.
And it will hook on weights or a loader and things like that and hook it up to the PTO at the front. And it's difficult if you can't see that because your bloody bonnet's in the way. But at least now, you can hook things and see everything you're doing. It actually says it here in the manual, see everything. There's a smashing...
Who might use this then compared to like a massive big one? Or is this better for your average sort of home farms? Or would it be used in these big industrial operations?
It would. No, it would be used in a larger industrial operation. So effectively, if you have a very, very large land area, so he's just nicked a pillow and he's getting closer to the camera. He's like, easy, that's fine. He can have it. It's the one with pheasants. He likes the taste. If you have masses and masses of land, you see a lot of these sort of clips of American farms where there's no hedges and the fields just go on and on, but sort of into the horizon. You'd want a larger tractor to pull a larger, heavier implement kind of thing. But around the yard for that farm, you don't want a whacking great machine that's trying to scoop out muck or move hay bales and things like that. Exactly, the manoeuvrability. So it doesn't really matter about the scale of your operation. This tractor would be good on any farm for that purpose. But if you do have a heap of land, it would do for whacking great fields of millions of acres. But you'd have a smaller implement, a smaller plough, for example, and it would take you a lot longer to plough the field or seed drill or anything.
You might not know this, but we can put the correct answer. But how much would one of these cost?
That I actually do know.
Oh, okay.
After I sat in it, and after only having older models of tractors, I was like, I want one of these. I'd just drive back to work for
Christmas list.
They're between £60,000 and £70,000. I think, don't quote me on this, I think Hunt Forest have them up there for 63,000. That might not be factually accurate. They're not crazy money.
How much would the most expensive John Deere go up to?
To be honest, I think you can spend hundreds of thousands. Particularly like the combines and things. And you get all related implements made by companies that tailor them towards John Deere's and things. And that you don't just want to buy the tractor. You want to buy the John Deere loader that goes on the front or hay spike or whatever, and then you add another few grand.
I mean, and there are a lot of tractors up at the John Deere, the Green or
Hunt Forest.
Did you know there are over 700 John Deere tractors? Not maybe now, but altogether there have been 700 different John Deeres.
Oh my word!
Fun fact.
Fun fact. Fun fact. There you go. Well, the 6120, that's a 2023 model.
Yeah.
It's now a 6125, which boasts more horsepower.
I think there are over 700 now. That's just like the most recent.
I think I've got it in here.
Yes.
Yes. So it's now the modern one is the 6125. So it's only a year old, mine, and that's 138 horsepower at just max revs with no load on it. by load I mean something in the bucket or pulling the implement, which means it'll probably develop maybe 155 horsepower under load.
Oh, I like how it's got an extra little seat for me or Teddy to sit
Yeah,
in.
a little fold down one,
a little
so
seat
you
at the
can sit.
side.
Wow,
That's such a good model.
You can drive it, and
Okay.
yeah, they're great. The die-cast models are.
Is it hard to drive?
No, really not hard to drive. These modern tractors, loosely speaking, because they do all differ, but largely there's no sort of gear stick. There's just like a sort of digital selector on a slider, or on some of them a little screen, and you select the gear with a little sort of like rolly wheel kind of thing. It's just push for forward, brake, and a push for backward kind of.
You were talking about safety and like the 3-point linkage.
3-point linkage, yeah, on the front and back.
So safety-wise, how safe are tractors, this kind of tractor these days, compared to in the old days? I mean, there's still sort of accidents happen, I guess, but how have they managed to make it as safe as possible?
Accidents happen, so obviously 3-point linkage was great for stopping accidents, but a tractor like this, for a start, the sheer size and weight of them gives you like a 5-star safety rating in a crash. But it's not.
Oh, I was thinking not for the person you run over.
Well, that's it, because they weigh
the
up.
Chicken or the cow.
Well, exactly. They weigh or the farm. They weigh up both with any motor vehicle, anything that's powered. So the star rating, if you were to hit a person, wouldn't be great because you've got so much mass behind you. Do you know what I mean? Is he
actually
eating? He's all right. No, he's fine. He's fine. It's a horrible grindy sound.
It is a horrible grindy sound.
The supervisor is being lazy and he's currently eating a pillow.
And I know I can hear it. It's like nails on a chalkboard sort of thing. I was going to say, how fast would it go? Could it go?
I think
it wouldn't go that fast normally if it's just going around a yard. But if you wanted to,
to be honest,
full steam ahead.
I think on a road, it was in here somewhere. I reckon you'll do about 50 miles an hour if you pushed it.
We can put that up and correct.
Well, you can put that up, correct it.
I mean, you wouldn't really. I mean, when would you do that?
You wouldn't want to. No, exactly. They are terribly spaceship-like, is what I call it. Driving a tractor of that size with that size wheels, you don't feel bumps on the road. In fields you might, but on the road, the wheels just go over any bumps. So it's like shall I take it off a bit?
It's killing
like me. A horrible grinding.
Pick him up, push it. There we go.
Ridiculous.
People want to see it.
So, people want to see the supervisor. So it's really strange. But you wouldn't want to go too fast.
Yeah.
You don't have much. There's no sort of sensory stuff going on when you're on the road because it's so smooth and strange, and you're not worried about sort of shifting through your gears and things. You just pick a number and push the pedal.
Interesting. Another fun fact is that Deere was one of the first to develop and use GPS and auto steer technology as well.
Wow!
The very first to use that in tractors.
Oh wow! Yeah. Golly!
And now we use it in all kinds of.
Well, I can't tell you if that one has it. I will find that out and put either a tick or a cross on the screen. But for those of you that don't know, so the GPS and the auto steer thing, you basically get a little screen sort of on a tablet. I'm going to take this cushion away because he's just going to straight back to where he was. All these toys around. Look, hey, what's
he
this?
He just jumped into a jam tart.
He jumped into a jam tart.
But we didn't film
bite.
it.
No, mid bite, and he's here you go. This one, baby. So you get a little tablet, and you bring up your field on the tablet, and you're effectively drawing a ring, a very accurate ring around your field. And then you adjust the settings to what you're doing, and you have settings on the console for how deep the plough is going to go, etc., etc. And then you just sort of push the pedal. Wow. And you don't have to worry about steering. It will just do it for you. The idea of you having to push the pedal to a certain degree is so it's not completely autonomous. There has to be a driver in there. Yeah. The GPS won't pick up if there's a telegraph pole. Right. So you can. Somebody does have to be. Yeah, and it doesn't fight you. You just override and go round, and then it will pick it back up again.
It's very clever.
Well, what it does is it makes the most of every single bit of space, particularly if you're leaving for certain subsidies and for the sake of the environment, strips of land untouched or with wildflowers around the field. Right. You can precisely leave a set area in accordance with the government guidelines, and it will just leave that area untouched for you instead of you wiggling in and out and whatnot. And it's really clever. Again, I don't know if the 6120M has that, But I can imagine
Well, I
it
would have
probably
thought so.
does. Yeah, I would have thought so. Yeah.
Are you ready for one last fun fact?
One last fun fact then.
This is really, I find this interesting.
Okay.
So the slogan "Nothing runs like a deer."
Yeah, I've got that on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually originally used to sell snowmobiles, so which Deere stopped selling in 1984. It all started with snowmobiles and bicycles.
Oh,
Not that
wow.
all started, but they had produced loads of snowmobiles and bicycles, and that actual slogan was created to sell snowmobiles.
Right, because deer sort of leap over the snow and bound instead of traipsing through. Well, I did not know that.
No, I didn't.
I did not know that. Because you think of a deer in a field, it runs just as fast as another sort of mammal. Wow.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, if you've liked this podcast and we've got anything wrong, probably, please comment below and please like and share. That is the best way to support us. I'd like to thank the Hunt Forest Group, particularly the chaps up in Greenhorse, Somerset, for donating the model and giving us the manual. And I had a lovely chat with the sales rep, great guy. They are having a Christmas open day on it's the Friday and Saturday, so that's the 22nd and 23rd of November, with 10% off all the John Deere merch. So if you wanted a pink coverall, now's the time. And there's also nibbles, mince pies, and cups of tea and hot chockies and things. So do go to that. It's awesome.
It's
it's
worth
like
looking
heaven.
at. And you can go and look around all the actual tractors and stuff. I'm sure they have a few open.
Combines, John Deere stuff, these mugs, like everything, the mowers, the hand mowers, all of it. It's like a little heaven up there. It really is. It really is attractive. If you're a John Deere fan, it's like, and as always in these podcasts, I'd like to mention the Farming Community Network, FCN. They are there for you if you need support in any of these settings. So mental health issues, you're struggling to understand your finances, you're struggling to understand the new government guidelines on taxation on family farms, you're in bereavement, anything like that, just call them. The logo and number and details, and there's a QR code as well, are all on screen right now. They will help you. They will direct you to support, or they will support you themselves, and they're super friendly. They basically connect you like we are one huge farming network together. We're one local community via the FCN. So please utilise them. And thank you for the fun facts. That was awesome.
What can I say?
Snowmobiles, jeez.